Difference to you? You played a couple noon games. Like night games better?
Yeah, I mean, night games has their pros and cons, and noon games it has its pros and cons. So, yeah, but I mean, ultimately playing at home, night game, it doesn't get any better than that.
But did you notice any difference, I guess, between last year's and this year's O-line?
Yeah, I mean, personnel differences, but like I said, I mean, I can't get away from. I mean, ultimately they're Stanford, and they're going to play well. So, yeah, I mean, different personnel. They lost a few guys. They lost the guy who was pretty much the best guard in the country. But, you know, they've got guys that can fill in there just like us. And we have guys that go, good players fill in. And they've got a solid O-line.
What about this series makes all these games close? I think even back to 2013 where you guys were pretty depleted on defense, it was only a 7-point game. Is there just what can you put your finger on why these games are always close?
I mean, I would just say because it's two good teams that have good defenses that play with technique. I mean, obviously we're not scouting their defense, but I know they've got a defense that really prides themselves on playing with good technique. The players doing their job. And then also their team that runs the ball a lot, which I think naturally brings a lower scoring game and a closer game. But, yeah, I would say those are the big things.
For you guys as a team, Coach Kelly's pointed to some of the close losses this year as being if we do a couple of things right, we're in a different spot. Can you put your finger on what maybe hasn't gone right in those close losses that maybe could have flipped them?
Yeah, well, I think first off, it's just college football, and it's hard to win in college football, and you have a lot of close games. But ultimately, the emphasis that Coach Kelly's put out there for us, and the emphasis that we're all talking about is just that we've got to finish and we've got to make plays at the end of the game, and we've just got to do a little bit more at the end. And he's got his 4 quarters of winning that I love, and the last one's finish. So that's something we need to pick up and do better with.
Is getting that team-wide ability to win close games, is that something that can happen with just one close win, or does it have to slowly develop in a younger team?
Yeah, I think I think both. And we do have a very young team. But ultimately, I mean, you just have to turn on a switch at the end of the game. And I'm super confident, given our week of practice and the conversations that Coach Kelly's had with us and Coach Hudson and other guys, that our guys are going to be able to do that. So I'm excited to see everyone play.
Isaac, when I got out of the car today, I thought there was piped-in crowd noise for a second, and you guys are pretty loud.
Yeah.
What was going on that had you so excited and so vocal at the end of practice?
I mean, we're just excited in general, and there's been tons of effort, tons of enthusiasm, tons of excitement at practice lately, and it's super exciting to play with guys that want to do that, especially as a captain, knowing that the guys that you're playing with are going to fight and be excited about it. But there's no real answer to that question, but ultimately we're just excited about playing ball, and you got to love when it's raining.
Yeah, I was going to say, whose decision was it to practice in the rain?